Big Boss Jock. My 750. Big Boss Jock. My 750. I have a request. I bought a BV 900 Broadcast Vision. Someone could put the schematic in the description and the commentaries of the link. I'd be appreciative of how I can do it myself and change that device so that the volume knob on the back will send out the RF instead of the speakers needing to receive the RF, boost the signal. Meaning that the volume knob on the back of the device, I'll be able to see the lights on the front light up and send me that amount of RF to my stem receiver. That's all I need. I mean, it's a $10 fix and I can light my eyes up red. So I'd appreciate that. Any of the listeners out there, if you could put the link to a schematic and an explanation, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Continuing on, before we continue any further, wow, yeah. Big Boss Jock, I do the rhyme with our Allah right here inside. Our one and only God, He helps me line by line. The divide, I'm looking at 141. It's getting ready for the fight, so let's let it roll and see what we see.
Misogyny.
Part 4, I believe. Wow, I better write them down on the paper. I believe it's part 4. I believe the title, though, when you're reading them better. So, if the title says it's a different number, go with the title. But I'll go for 4. What am I doing here? Let's see. Well, let's roll the clip. Yeah.
Ignorance. White privilege.
White privilege. She's in front of the African American female who looks at her group. When she ever looks, as I've mentioned before, in the footnotes that you have down there in the notebook, yeah, analyzers or analysts, okay, they can be analysts, and we're analyzing the situation. And what do we see? We're talking, and well, I'm looking, and that's me. Yeah, I see. I don't see me. I see situation. She blocks out the Yankee African American female every time the words are appropriate. Meaning, she just talked about racism, I believe, then she obscured the African American woman behind her to take highlight so that because she's looking at her group, so her group was offended. They completely saw what happened here, that she was blocked out by the idola. Now we know she's a female. There's a difference. Castellano, the language, we know whether they're female or male by amigo. You went with your friend. Is your friend female or male? We don't know until you describe your friend in Anglais. And that neutral part of Anglais has been abused, and that's by Yankee Sam. We'll talk about various topics. I should pay more attention to the clock when I start, then I know when to stop. But alright, I'll just guess. And I know it'll be at least 10 minutes and some. Alright. Continuing on. Let's see what we perceive. Analysts. I don't like to hiss, so we're analyzers for the moment. Let's be analyzers. Yeah, let's get it done. We can have our own lingo. We're over here. All right. It's just a term for a red who is a analyst, but we don't want to hiss like the idola is. And so we'll call her an idola, then we know she's a female. And we could say the word vagina. This is supposed to be Women's March. And let's mention something. And this is such as Martin Luther King on that day. He had 3 letters, and it slid into someone who they made into an icon. This same thing is supposed to be Women's March. Well, wait a second. We're 148 in, and what's been about women? It could be, and it is, being tagged to a whole group. A group that isn't exclusively women. Meaning, some women are being excluded because they don't feel the same as a man who thinks he's a woman that suffers from a mental illness. And we'll talk about it right now. Dissociative identity disorder. I don't have it. They have to turn the button on. I do have that sickness. Yeah, I feel this. I do. The thing is, I never chose to engage in homosexual sex. Meaning they had to turn the button on. They had to press it. Or they weren't going to get impressed. They got nothing. They're queers. They're the gay queers all the way. CIA. I'm a stimoceiver. Listeners out there, help me disseminate the information. That's a s'il vous plaît. Then maybe I can escape out of slavery. I'm being held by national Yankee U.S. national security, which is the real, as in, but there's nothing true about them, leadership of the Yankee states. So how would I say that to not tag true to that situation? See, that's one of those. So who's the real power? The legitimate power? See, I had to think about that more some other time, because it would. That's the only way I can describe. But I know by tying true to something negative, we don't want to do that. We don't want to give them true anything. Not in my mind. No, but awfully good. What does that mean? Excuse me. I'm in the control booth. I can't edit. Yeah. Continuing on with the program. All right, she's waving. So let's see what the Idola said before that.
White privilege!
She's giving them the sign. Just all right. Let it slide. Well, and we're supposed to figure that is a fist at the end of her hand. We only see it at the forearm. It doesn't get to the wrist. And that's at the top of the screen, and she's waving it back and forth. Oh, right over directly the idola's head. And that's at 148. Let's let it roll. Let it roll, and see where we go. And she agrees. She's a racist, see, and she's marking her. The African American, I see. The African American in the back's marking the idola by waving her arm back and forth, as she agrees by nodding her head up and down, and that's the idola.
I'm not.
Oh wow! And she moved her hand fast. 151. I mean, it's gone. It's on her lap. I mean, that hand was there and gone. Oh, interesting. Sure seems computer generated to me. Hey. But I wasn't there, and everyone else must be deceived, or they realize they go to these events. I try to think like the Yankee, and I can't understand in my mind. I feel my brain start to spin around. Go back to the theme. All right, I'm going to stay thinking like this. Yeah, analyzers. Let's get back to the job. We're Reds, rebels. We're a decipherer in the code. Code breakers? We are. Her body action right now tells me. What does it tell you if you're looking at 151 and the woman behind retracted her arm abruptly? Look at the posture of the idola. Indignant, coming at me, aggressive. Arrogant more than everything. Well, let's do it this way. And I won't go to the Poso. I know that Poso está seco. I stay with the show. I'm right here in the street, do this, and stay with the beat. Take opinions, and true opinions. Afro-colonialist, what do you think? Oh, excuse me. So, right now, Afro-Americans, we could be celebrating our... No, we're not, but I can't explain it. So I'll just say like this. Let's say like this. Before I mentioned that I didn't want to program people in the wrong way, don't get excited or worried. I mean in the sense that positive reinforcement programming. I use lingo, so get used to my show. I run things, that means running the op. So they're running a color instead of they're using a color. Things like this. Don't want anybody to get worried. That's all. Continuing with the show. Let's see what she does.
Not as nasty as you.
See, and she's repeating that phrase, and it's unfortunate. We have to listen to this phrase. We're getting it's offensive for me, because see, I took this phrase and tagged it on Warren because she told me this 7 times in a speech, and I made her look bad. Now I'm not going to retract because I see this is all by a plan, such as what was the other one? Oh yeah, billionaires. How do they get there? I know it's offensive to some. In my family, they're up in that group, and Donald, he sure offended them. He pointed out some Mexicans, and they told everyone, because Donald said, hey, take note. He wanted them to know. He said, men such as him are billionaires, and how they get there as a group, those billionaires, they're murderers and rapists. That's their way. That's how they get there. Them billionaires as a group. And Donald, he said, and he pointed to the Mexicans and he pointed to himself and he said, and he mentioned that. He is one. And they looked at him and they were insulted. They left Mexico where they know that place, their home country, that they take great pride. And I don't want to refer to it as that place because it's more than a vacation destination for me. I know your country from Tapachula to Tijuana via Veracruz. I know that route. I've been to Cancun and well, I think once or twice. More than once I went there and then I went there again and again. That doesn't count. So the places, some places, yeah, and so is half of your country on a break. That's what they're thinking. No, I'm saying I think Mexico's a beautiful country. I know it as Mexico, so that's different in my mind than Mexico. Just so they all know, and they're aware of how their country runs. So when they heard that a billionaire was going to be a leader here in the Yankee Empire, they knew, well, what happens if the border closes? They're going to have a rapist and a murderer. I mean, they heard that they're billionaires, and Donald told them, as a group, the billionaires, how they get there, they're rapists and murderers. And the Mexicans, they got out there, and they started letting the people know, don't vote for Donald. Because they knew if they needed to leave, they were going to have to leave through the gate. And that meant detention. And how long after arrival? That would be more than molestation, fornication, rape. And it's rape, violation. More than fornication. That's a violation, rape. That's Yankee Sam's way. That's what'll be going on in the Camp FEMA's also. Oh, he said it. He said it. Doomsdayer. No, stay there. Stay there. We're going to speak about this. This is Mighty 750. And don't worry, none. I'm going to get a podcast. And I'm going to talk all day long. I do this and I stay with the rhyme. Sometimes, well, it does feel like a job, but I just say, well, to myself, and I went to the post, so I know it's Seiko. I say to myself, I'm enjoying the rhyme and I'm able to unwind my mind. Big Boss Jock signing off, Mighty 750. Oh, it's right here. It ain't going anywhere.